Stuart Brawley. Welcome to the Backyard Studios, Altadena, California. It's our new location. Just moved from Northridge, California, and yeah, welcome. I can't say that I have a specific technique that I've developed that's only mine. I'm a big sponge, so when I am in a room with somebody that knows what they're doing, I watch, I learn. I don't always incorporate it completely, but I'll see the bits and pieces that I like and incorporate them. Before I switched to using KRKs, I used to use Genelecs, and I had to always have them really, really loud to really understand what I was hearing. One of the things I noticed right away when I switched to KRK was how I could have them at a pretty minimal volume, which saves my ears, and actually get a much more cohesive mix. I'd say if I'm known for anything in terms of production or style, it's other than just, like the pop music that I typically do, is like a really good vocal sound and vocal arrangements. And so that's always the focus point when I'm building a mix. I usually start with the vocal first. I want to get it sounding the way it needs to sound before I start bringing in all the other stuff. That was always hard to do with the Genelecs because they were really scooped in the middle and it really just threw my ear off, unless they were so loud that my ears were bleeding. With the exposés, when I started using those, it was like this whole other ballgame for me, and I was able to really design the sonic template for the vocal sounds that I like to get. So the Rokits are pretty new to my setup, and I love them. The exposés I've had for a few years, and it did take my ears a little bit of time to adjust to them because they're a very different sound from Genelec. I had used them mixing Emmy Rossum and was loving the mixes, and not just loving them in the studio, but loving them in the car and on headphones and out in the real world. And that's obviously the main deal, right? Like we don't make records and then invite people over to the studio to let them hear it on your KRKs. It needs to sound good wherever. So I really got used to the exposés, and they're really helped me both with the spread and the depth, and the mid-range was really important for me because I could never really get the mid-range right when I was using Genelecs. And then when I started using the Rokit 5s, I don't even understand how they sound as good as they do. I mean, based on the price point, it kind of blows my mind. Like, $300 versus like $2,500, and not that they're not worth $2,500, but those things are absolutely insane. There's something about the back front that I don't even really know how to describe it, but there's this space and depth to those speakers that is absolutely amazing. And listening really quietly, which I need to do because I don't like to blast it all day long, those things just really help me build the mix, not just left, right, but front, back. So the two big things that make or break a mix for me, and everyone's setup is different for sure, but I mix across multiple outputs in Pro Tools. I don't just mix out of 1 and 2. I have an analog summing box that really allows me to mix at a higher level in Pro Tools across several stereo master faders. So that's one of two really key things for me in the mix. And then the other is knowing my speakers and knowing the KRK sound. And that's why even when I'm not working here, if I'm going out to a record plant or Larrabee or another studio, they have to come with me because that is like the common denominator for my ears. So I'll bring them, set them up, play some mixes I've done in my own studio, familiarize myself, and then I know, okay, I'm good to go, I can make this work. I made the mistake of doing a couple sessions once without them, like going to another studio and just like, yeah, throw up some NS10s and I'll use the big speakers when I need it loud, and your ear forgets what other speakers sound like if you don't use them. So not even like a better or worse thing in terms of speaker quality, you have to train your ear to trust what you're hearing. And then when you're not, every EQ curve and every speaker response, they're so different. So yeah, once you know a speaker, and if you're getting the mixes that you love, you got to stick with it.